This is a VGC Series 13 rental team submitted to me by Viking VGC. You can, you can check them out. They've actually been making a lot of rental codes that like Zhang's been using, Jeans has been using, I've been using. Really, really cool, creative rentals. And this is a Series 13 rental that was submitted to me on Patreon. If we actually open up the little window right here, you can see the official team submission post. Once I pull it up, this is actually the paste. We'll be taking a look at that as well when we fix it. You can see the official post right here. You guys can send me teams. You have a lot of teams we're looking at. It's right here. So this is bustedtr.com. So this is their first attempt at a Series 13 Trick Room team, and they're really happy with it. And they posted the paste, they posted the rental, they post a little bit about how each mon works. So really, really cool stuff. I love all the teams they make. They make really, really unique, creative teams. Where we're taking a look at like the team breakdown. Where we're taking a look at fixing all the EVs and IVs and stats and moves and stuff like that. And hopefully we can have a pretty cool stream today where we fix a couple of the rentals that they submitted. So let me just go like that and go back to the rental code. But yeah, I do think on first glance, this is a really, really cool Trick Room team. I love it when Trick Room teams have multiple setters, and I really love it when those multiple setters have multiple different weaknesses. I think the only thing I really would have liked here is maybe to make one of the Trick Room setters, because we have 4, into a Porygon. I think Porygon would have completely rounded it out, because Calyrex is weak against, like, Ghost, and Porygon nullifies Ghost, so, like, they're so good into covering for each other's weaknesses. Palkia is a great cover for Calyrex and Magearna. Things that use like ground and fire attacks obviously aren't great against Palkia, so that's really, really cool. I like the little bit of damage reduction berries here, being like the Kobas and the Shuka berries as well. Overall, this seems like a very, very solid Trick Room team. I think the only thing that's going to be lacking is potentially being able to deal with like things like Shedinja. Shedinja seems like a really, really big issue, which, you know, I don't know if we're going to play any today, but we'll fight that road when we come to it. We're going to definitely be able to fix that in the team preview. We're also going to move some of the items around after using it in some games. And I think realistically that like something like an Iron Ball would be better on the Amoonguss. I think Psychic Seeds would be better on Indeedee. Then we can change the Indeedee set up to actually have room for something that can help us deal with Shedinja and Calyrex Shadow, because that is a problem Pokemon for this team. Also getting Amoonguss to underspeed other specific things like other Calyrex Ices even more, and other, just other Pokemon in general. Like Stakataka. Stakataka would be a big problem for this team. Would be really, really nice. So maybe like an Iron Ball on the Amoonguss, maybe the Psychic Seeds on Indeedee. We can even put the Sash somewhere else, or even just keep the Sash on the Indeedee and make it so it's just a little bit better equipped. I don't think Healing Wish is the right option here, but let's see what we can get done, and hopefully win some games. Let's go into it. Okay, that's a cool looking team. Lax, it could be Boom Room with Lax Gengar. That's definitely a possibility. They don't really have a good way to stop TR if we were to just go Indeedee, so I think I might just go with the Indeedee. I think Indeedee Magearna is okay. My Series 13 team's been doing extremely well. It's hard to really tell because casual. Yeah, you can't see the other team's EVs. Yeah, I think they're doing. I think it's fine though. Lunala is also a good option. I think I might leave with the Lunala. Ooh, Lunala's like, it's only good against Ho-Oh. So I think we just bring the Lunala in the back. I think we go like Indeedee Magearna and just go redirect. And if you happen to like P-Blades me, that's fine. I guess I could get imprisoned by Gengar. That would be bad. We're swinging the Lunala here, and then Palkia is good. Palkia is a good mon here. I think Calyrex is just going to be a little bit better. It's better at dealing with Groudon. You can max it deal with Zacian, and it can also really, really deal. It can also, Calyrex is going to be super important for being able to turn off that Snorlax's Custap and or like Pinch Berries, if it's like a Gluttony Wax. So Unnerv's really, really important in this matchup. Man, if that was a Shadow Rider instead of a Hydreigon, this would be a lot harder. So hopefully, hopefully we don't find any teams that look just like that, but with Shadow Rider, because that again, that would be super hard. Or if that was a Shadow Rider instead of a Gengar, oof, that'd be a lot harder. You could see like Porygon could be really, really good in this situation, because then we just go redirection Porygon. Like Porygon is such an underrated mon in this format. So we see Gengar Zacian. There is totally a % chance that we get imprisoned. I'm not gonna lie. The good thing about this is if they go for the imprison and we just go follow me, Trick Room. Next turn, we can just follow me again and just try to KO the Gengar. It might be sashed. Who knows? You think it's a story casual team? I don't think this is a casual team. Like, they led Zacian. Like, that looks like a real team. The fact that they have 3 restricteds tells me that it's probably real. I don't think it's a casual. I don't think it's a story team. So we're just going to go for... I mean, we could just actually click the Expanding Force. I don't want to get doubled into, though. Yeah, we'll go for the Follow Me, and we'll try the Trick Room. If they imprison, they imprison. I don't think there's a single problem with going for this. They also selected Gengar second and Zacian first. I think if it was like Imprisoned Gengar, they would have first selected that. Like they would have been like auto-locked. It would be on our right. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't notice. Like the order that things get sent out does matter. And a lot of people, especially on like the lower ladder, like casual, they tend to select Pokemon based off of like, I need to bring this one. You know, kind of like we just did the same thing. You know, we select our entity first because we knew we needed Follow Me. Let's see, they could also just be Trick Room and not be Imprisoned. That's definitely an option. So you can see the entity gets to live there. So this entity set already gets to live Zacians. Phantom Force. Maybe it is a in-game team. Who knows? Who knows? But I think it's fine. Trick Room's gonna be good here. This is gonna mean the Gengar's gonna go first, so we're gonna Follow Me to block that Phantom Force. And then we're just gonna start Steel Spiking. Do we even need to Steel Spike? So we can just Follow Me here. And let's think about this. I could just Flash Cannon the Gengar. I could also just Max here. I don't really want to Max though, do I? I'm gonna Steel Spike this Zacian. Because I want it to get low enough to where I can send up my Cali. And if you protect Zacian, that's fine. Because I get to keep the entity then. And then next turn we can double. Cool, I like this play. Let's go. Big Max. Big Max Magearna. This is the Pokeball Magearna too. I think Physical Gengar is a waste. Physical Gengar is like useful in certain situations. Like, not this one, obviously. But Physical Gengar can be used to like Policy Proc. It also gets like Sucker Punch and I think the Elemental Punches. So like there's definitely usefulness as like a meme Policy Procer or like slight coverage for mons that have like 4 times weakness like Shadow Rider takes massive damage from Sucker Punch. What is up? What is up? And so let's see. We're going to block the Phantom Force first because remember Trick Room activated. So that means Gengar's now slower. So it goes first. Goes into the normal typing of entity. And we go for a Moonblast. Alright, so it is a physical. Alright. It is a casual team. The only person I've ever seen Moonblast Zacian is me. You guys remember the weakness policy around Zacian? That was. You guys remember that? That was the sickest thing I'd ever seen in my life. The sickest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Alright. So let's just go into it. We can go for I mean they're probably not gonna have Assassin since they're super casual. And let's see. That means that like realistically, like Lance is probably enough to get a double, but like we can just high horsepower the Gengar, but they can max the Gengar. That's the thing, is like I'm trying to play around max Gengar here. Because I don't want that to be a problem. I think Lance might just actually pick up a KO on that Zacian. And then we just Steel Spike into the same Zacian slot to make sure that it goes down. This is the busted TR team. Yep. So no max. I wonder if they just KO's Gengar. That'd be nuts. I don't think so though. Bro, nuts. Actually nuts. Curse Body. Oh man. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. So Soul Heart boost. That's a +1. That's another +1. Oh my gosh. And I'm about to get another +1 right here. Yo. Busted. But yeah, even though this person's team obviously, like someone noticed, is looking like a casual looking team, it is what it is. You can't say that we didn't treat it with the respect that it deserves. I think that that's one thing. People are like, it's a casual team. Like, casual teams with like random EVs can mess you up. They have a lot more bulk than you think that they do. Sometimes. You know, everyone's used to calcing for like sweepers, for example, like Shadow Riders, Gengars, things like that. They're used to them being full special attack, full speed. But when they have like randomly like 200 points in defense and almost full HP, maybe they EV trained on a Pokemon that gave HP, or like they leveled up on Pokemon that gave HP EVs, they're way bulkier than you think. I remember one time I was humbled, right? I went to a singles tournament in Gen 5, and I was like, oh man, this guy's like an in-game team. I can see it. I can literally see the in-game team. And I led with Darmanitan, and they led with Conkeldurr. And it was obviously like they had like a couple starters. It was pretty bad, right? And basically what it came to... Oh, I'm curse bodied. One Mao. Get wrecked. Basically what it came down to was like... Not came down to. At the I led Darmanitan, and they led Conk. And I'm like, cool. I kill Conk every single time. I went for my Flare Blitz, he lived at like 10%, I was like, oh shit, that's because that's random in-game EVs. He's not full attack HP, he's probably like mostly HP, mostly defense, because he probably EV trained hitting Geodudes. And so you have to take that into account on like what Pokemon are in what games that they leveled up battling. Like, how did they get to level 50 to do this battle? How did they evolve? Like, what Pokemon did they get all that experience from? It's such a weird thing to think about, you know? Anyways, my Darmanitan got rocked the next turn. I got destroyed, but I still won the battle. But, like, I was humbled, you know? Soul Heart's so busted with Steel Fairy coverage. I agree. Mag would only have bug moves. Is it a bug? Is it supposed? Why would it only have bug? But yeah, like, I remember I thought I was hot shit. But then that's another thing you gotta think about, like, what in-game Pokemon were they like leveling up against? Dude, get the proc. Get the proc. Just do it. Get the proc. Never lucky. Dude, I can't even use a move here. All my moves are not very effective against this Ho-Oh. Where's the Thunder Magearna? Alright, I'm about to floor cannon this thing. Last turn Trick Room. Move disabled. I could Trick Room here. It's fine. Floor cannon! Let's do it. Oh, come on! Come on!
Melmetal.
And Lycanroc. Okay. And Mew. I wonder if that's going to be Imprisoned Mew. That's the thing about this team. You really have to respect the Imprison, like, a lot. The good thing is we don't have to go Indeedee, because we don't really have to respect as much priority. Like, I guess there's a Cell Rock and Sucker Punch, but, like, we can just go Amoonguss here. I think it'd be better. I wish Amoonguss had a Sash. So this is one of the situations where, like, it might be better to be Sashed. Let's see. Indeedee's good. I think Indeedee Palkia is probably the best. Let me just check the EVs on this Palkia real quick. Okay, that works for me. Yep, Indeedee Palkia seems good. Indeedee Palkia with Cali. I think Lunala is a good Mon here. It's either Lunala or Amoonguss. I don't think you bring Magearna. Magearna's like okay, but I don't think we need a double. I'm gonna bring the Lunala. Let's go. I'm bringing the Lunala instead because I want Shadow Shield to potentially give me a second chance to set TR if I need to use a second setter. I love that Genesect video. Yeah, that was a good one. I say Pokemon is realistic, you know, Bug being kind of weak. Ah, okay, I get it, I get it. Kind of why I'm excited to get Scarlet over Violet. Having another physical legendary will be nice to even out the excessive amounts of special legendaries. You never know. That, what is it? The red legendary might be special and the other one might be physical. You never know. They could they could always be mixed too. They might be built like Rayquaza where they're both like 150s in both stats. So Zacian and Melmetal, I think this is an absolutely amazing lead for me. So we're just going to go Follow Me Trick Room. One really cool thing about like the Follow Me Trick Room teams, if I had Magearna here, you saw it in the last game, is if you ever KO the Unity, I get a Soul Heart boost into that, so it's really, really nice. That's a regular Zacian. Bro, I don't get to choose who I fight, I promise. I promise I don't get to choose who I fight. I just queue up, man. Hey, everyone has to learn. Everyone has to learn at their own pace. Regular Zacian in the house. So let's see. Get Moonblasted again? CC baby, dude. My what is it? My my Max Quake in that slot's not gonna do any damage next turn. Moonblast Zacian incoming. I know, right? Next turn. Next turn. Darkest Lariat Melmetal. Oh man, that's such a cool animation. I'm actually happy they KO'd the Indie. That's good for us. So we can KO the Melmetal with a Max Quake, and we can just KO the Zacian. I think Lance will actually KO Zacian. In before Scarf Zacian. Yo. Does Moonrise Beam KO Zacian? Which one's stronger? High Horsepower is my plan. But it doesn't have Steel typing right now. I'll go for the... I think Lance can do it. I think Lance can do it, guys. I have faith in Glacial Lance. Let me think about this. I actually think we underspeed that Melmetal because their EVs are wrong. Alright, let's go. Oh, you can totally double Iron Bash this Cali. I don't think it'll KO. I didn't want to use Lunala either, just showing because they already showed Darkest Lariat, so I didn't want to use the Lunala. So let's see. Survey says Big Palkia. Looks like they're not maxing. Sounds good to me. Another thing is if they were to max the Melmetal and go for like a Steel Spike into our Cali, this would be getting them a defense boost, which would basically mean we'd be trading Cali for Melmetal, which would be really good. So Lariat here. It's fine. It's not stabbed. So we're good. If they wanted to max that thing, they'd be getting like, they'd be wasting their max, basically. Let's see if this kills the Zacian. I'm actually really curious. Let's go, Callie. Let's go. Almost. So we're probably going to lose to Callie this turn. Maybe not. Thanks for fixing your team. Yeah, thank you for submitting it. It was a really, really cool team. Hopefully you like the changes. Hopefully they helped. Hopefully they helped. And let's see what the Zacian's using. Next turn, Zacian gets finished off by the Lance. And we got our max Palkia on the board. Let's see. What you got, Chief? Close combat Palkia. Yo, it might be Scarf Zacian, guys. What if, like, we're just clowning on this guy thinking they have an in-game team? Or what if that's, like, actually Scarf Zacian? Like, Scarf Zacian's respectable. Right? It's respectable. We've all thought about it. It still gets the Intrepid Sword boost. Feel bad for this guy. Alright, Lance up. And Geyser Town. We're going to Geyser in case they want to ally switch. So you don't want to Worm Wind. Because we also want to just get the KO. If they go for like a Sucker Punch or something, it changes. But like, Sucker Punch would fail. Let's go! Still treating the opponents with the amount of respect that they deserve, I would say. Breaks potential Sash. I think ally switch Cinderace is such an underrated mon. I wonder if TPCI is going to actually carry ally switch as a TM into the next gen. I wonder. Alright. Winds up. They got one more mon in the back. But like, yeah, it is what it is. We have one more turn to max. Rain up. Callie busted. They haven't maxed yet, but like, good luck, Chuck. We got the power of Callie. Rock. Okay. Oh man, that's the shiny one too. I actually really like Dusk. Is that Dusk form? I think it's one of my like really underrated picks. I've used it a few times in the past, and I remember when it got its specific Z move back in like Ultra Sun and Moon. He tried to go for the Star Rock. I remember that Z move was really, really good because it took away terrains. So like you could make a team that was super weak to terrains, and you could just use that Z move, get a KO, and take away the terrain. It was almost as impactful as a Z move, or as a max move, right? At like changing the tempo of the game. It always got claimed on YouTube though, because it was like a little movie. Is that my team or not? I don't remember. I used a Mewtwo the other day. Yo, we got some big follows. Thank you. This is a cool team. We do want to set Trick Room. We have to watch out for Imprisoned Mewtwo and Trick Room of Trick Room from Diancie, but I think we're okay. We also have to worry about Regidrago. So actually, we're going to go Magearna as our setter. We don't necessarily need Indeedee here, and the way that their speed tiers are actually organized, Amoonguss is a better one than Indeedee. Because they're like, the way things work is like faster things. Like if they were to go like Amoonguss Melmetal, I don't think Magearna would be fine versus that. And Amoonguss is just better against a lot of those things. So we're going to go Amoonguss Magearna. Then we're definitely still going to bring Callie. And I'm wondering if I want the Lunala. Yes. I want Lunala over... Well, Palkia is still really good here. This is a hard sell. Lunala or Palkia. I'm going to bring the Palkia reluctantly. Stream was good. You did some Unite and Shiny hunting. Yo, we need to do a Unite stream soon too. Unite's such a fun game. I'm probably going to play some Unite later today. But let's see what they lead with. Cool team. I think Zygarde Dog form is the best way to use Zygarde in this format. And I think it's actually usable in this format. I think it's a pretty good mon. Mewtwo Zygarde. There it is. So they can go for like 1,000 arrows and KO our Amoonguss. I think I'm just going to Protect and Trick Room. I think we can actually get away with that. Campered out on it? I mean, it depends. Oh, not Protect here. So we Trick Room with the Magearna. And I think that we want to Rage Powder or Protect. We'll just go for the Protect. Because, like, I think the Mewtwo would, like, be size shocking. If the Mewtwo wants to go for, like, a Flamethrower into the Magearna, like, be my guest. I think we'd live Flamethrower and 1,000 Arrows. Side Strike and Amoonguss. So I love this. I love this lead. Because, like, it forces them to respect Amoonguss, and they're like, haha, just kidding. And then you get the spores. It's so nice. Nice. Doesn't do anything. And the Trick Room. And now Amoonguss underspeeds everything. Who's worth going after? It's going to be the Doggo. This probably KOs, like realistically. It might not. I don't. We clocked the Sash on Zygarde. We're gonna Spore the Zygarde. And go after the Mewtwo slot. Alright. Big Magearna. Don't want to go for the fairy move, right? You don't want to go for the fairy move. That's the one you don't want to go for because it would make it so the Spore on Amoonguss wouldn't work next turn. So we want to go for as many Spores as possible. You can totally drop Protects and try away to the Trick Room. Spores up. Cool. Good night, good fight, Mr. Doggo. No one, please. Alright, cool. How's the Series 13 grind? London was so much fun. I'm glad you had fun. Series 13's working. Oh, almost getting the KO. Almost. I wish we got that. Unlucky. Why would you use 10% Zygarde? It's faster, so it just has... It's you sash it, right? And so it just has more usefulness outside of, you know, how it's normally used. That doesn't do anything. Alright, so let's think about what we need to do in this situation. I think you actually just Steel Spike and Pollen Puff that slot to break Sash. And if Mewtwo protects or switches, it's fine. Yeah, I like the 10% Zygarde form. It's fast, and it's good. So you see these Psy Strikes are making it so, the Steel Sparks are making it so these Psy Strikes do less damage. And that's why we even if we didn't kill the Mewtwo, we're fine last turn. And so let's see. Mewtwo Psy Strike. There's a Soul Heart. Recover. Not bad. Cool. So we can just Spore that Mewtwo next turn or go for the KO. Doesn't really matter. Recover's not bad on Mewtwo. It's bulky enough to make it work. So whatever comes out here is probably going to be their max. So I'm probably going to Spore whatever comes out and just go for a Steel Spike KO on the Mewtwo. And then get ready to go for like another Rage Powder Trick Room after my max turns are done. We maxed a little bit early in this matchup. Missed the KO on the Mewtwo, but I think it's fine. We're going to be able to stabilize. Diancie. Is that shiny? Can you even get that thing shiny? I don't know if there's ever been a shiny Diancie event. It doesn't have a name! I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna Spore the Mewtwo. I've never seen that. Ever. Ever. I didn't know you could do that. It's maxing, it's gonna get destroyed. The telly in the back is super sweet. This one, right? That's the telly. I actually got that from a sponsor. They gave it to me to make a video, and I reviewed it. It's actually a really cheap telly, but like it's really, really nice. Japanese event? Okay. Well, good night, good fight, Mewtwo. Yeah, my favorite's that Jazz Master over there. And I got my base down there, and the telly's up there. Spudman, how's it going? Let's go. Oh my gosh, 4 times. 4 times super effective. And yeeted deleted out here. Bye-bye, Diancie. No name. No name. The opposing fainted. And I'll take a Soul Heart boost. I wonder if I can KO that Mewtwo with like Pollen Puff. How's it going? It's going flawless. Absolutely flawless. Yeah, I think they had a good team. We just have a better one. Yeah, we're gonna be fine versus Genesect. You got some really cool guitars, bro. Wish we could jam. Yeah, that'd be cool. I have a really good guitar over there I've talked about. I've never shown it. It's like the one right next to my desk. But it's a pretty nice one as well. That's one of the few things I don't use my clout too often, right? But every once in a while I'll use my clout to get like some guitar stuff. So like I've gotten like that guitar from a sponsorship deal based off my YouTube channel. I got like that guitar, the one that I'm pointing at, you guys can't see, off like a sponsorship deal because of my YouTube channel. I got a few pedals from stuff like that. So yeah, I only ever like use my clout for evil. You guys are never going to see me be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I don't take those dumb ones. I only take ones of like products I actually would use. Well, I've been hit up by like Ridge Wallet, Squarespace, HelloFresh. Never will I fall to the dark side. This is going to get that KO, I know it. I mean, it's actually smarter to just reapply the Trick Room, but like it's fine. He can wake up, so we just do it like this and we're fine. I wonder if Volcanion gets a KO. Let's go! Cannon! Bruh! We take those. That was a fun game. Cool. That's a really, really cool team. I like this a lot. I think Magearna is good. I wish we had a little bit more bulk. I think Palkia is probably the right option, though. Palkia, the only thing I'm afraid of is, like, Imprison. We don't need to really respect that. I guess you can't really with Amoonguss because if they have, like, Taunt on Whims, they can Taunt through the Rage Powder. So you do kind of still need to bring Indity here. And then... like, Kali is good, and you don't want the Lunala. I think Magearna is definitely the right choice in this exact situation. So hopefully this is the right way to do this. Hopefully I'm not just setting terrain for that Kali to just roll us over. Like, if they were to lead Palkia Kali, and if it's Specs Kali, this is setting terrain for the Expanding Force to hit really, really hard. So hopefully that's not the case. But if it is, it is. I think the worst case scenario was, like, Snarl Yveltal. And if they... get a KO on the end of the first turn, they would like Yveltal Zacian and go like Behemoth Blade Snarl, they clear the Entity, we bring out the Kali and we just win. That's the idea, right? I think there'll ever be any viable use for Utility Umbrella. I think Utility Umbrella is cool at the start of formats because like I think like Utility Umbrella mons that rely on specific healing moves. So like Arcanine would be a cool one because you can go for like still 50% heals. And I think it's better in singles than it is in doubles, personally. And reality is, like, if you're going to put something like that on something like an Arcanine, like a heavy-duty boots would be better in that situation. So let's see. They might be using, like, Trick Room here, or maybe reliant on Taunt. Either way, like, this is a good lead for us because we can waste time with Indity. We also do have to follow me because, like, Helping Hand Max Lightning would KO Palkia. But we don't know where the Sash is, so it's dangerous. I also am a fan of, like, Max Ice on Palkia just to be able to deal with Whims. That's just my personal opinion. I would think about putting the Ice attack over the ground attack. But let's go. Because, like, after I get the Trick Room up, I would love to go into the Whims cut. It also helps Palkia deal with Yveltal and Thundurus, you know, so that's just an option to use over the Earth Power. Earth Power is obviously better versus Dialga, but Dialgas can deal with it. So let's see what they want to do. They could totally go for, like, Electro Web, Volt Switch, Tailwinds. Those are all completely fine. Dazzling Gleam would kind of suck, but, like, we're good. And I like the fact that we actually led with the Indity to stop things like taunts and stuff like that from working. There's the taunt. See, you know what I mean? Like, we had the Psychic Terrain anyways, but, like, you see what I mean? Like, the Indity was the right lead. That's a big Lecky. So it means it's going to be Sash on the Whims. I actually think we can KO the Lecky with an Expanding Force. Or at least we would if it was the Indity set that I would like, which has a little more special attack. I'm still just going to go for the Expanding Force. And I think I will actually Geyser this Whims. Just because I want to get a double KO this turn to really speed up my Trick Room. And worst case scenario, Whims protects and this breaks Sash and sets Weather. So I think, like, you know, going into the next turn, we could go for, like, an even bigger Max Geyser into, like, a Yveltal or something. But I do wish I had Hailstorm right here. I'd definitely use it. Big Palkia. They can protect if they want. But I think we're in a good spot. Protects. Regieleki protects. Cool. Don't have to worry about it. Expand these forces. We should be able to take the Whims out here. Another cool thing about going for it like this is if this is like an eject Whims, this is going to take the Expanding Force and be forced to swap out, and then anything that comes in might just get popped. This should KO. Nice. Great. Absolutely wonderful. Sets our steroids. So now we have enough damage to potentially take out Zacian as well. I think this Palkia has like nature and like 100 and something special attack investment, so I think we're in a good spot here. So let's see if it's Zacian. We're basically just going to double into things that can be problematic. We don't really double into the Yveltal for sure. Not double, but like, oh, let me actually think about that. Do we think that Expanding Force will KO that Regieleki? Like, I do. So I'm going to go into the Yveltal. It's obviously going to max, but like, I think it's fine. At the very least, if Lecky's not doing anything weird, it's this Expanding Force would KO after it gets Wild Charge chip. E-Speed, but it's the terrain, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. Mr. Taunt, Extreme Speed. Cruise Control for gotta go fast, right? Oof, almost. Yeah, I don't think it's bulky either. This can do a lot. Yveltal might be Snarling here, or Dark Pulsing. Yeah, Snarl's great. Good play. Finishes off the Entity. That gives us a free swap into Calyrex. So it's the way this team works is like you go for your Trick Room early, and then you come and you bring out like the good restricteds in the back, like Cali. And so realistically, we don't even need Palkia on the board anymore. I think I'm going to switch it and just go for a Lance to get the double. And so that way this is resetting the special attack drop that's on our Palkia and giving us a new fresh Mon that can potentially deal with threats in the back. Even if that even if the Yveltal maxes, it shouldn't be a problem. And you know what? We're actually just going to stand and go for a max Geyser into this slot here in case they want to pop a Protect so we can speed up the Trick Room. I forgot. They have Protect on that thing and we want to be able to block it. So this is going to be able to puncture through Protects and stuff like that. And it looks to be potentially vested Yveltal, otherwise it wouldn't have Snarl. I'm gonna laugh at Sucker Punches me. Right, bro. 3 turns in a row. Psychic Terrain. There's Protect. See, I like that I stayed in. That's good play. Reverse Dawn, how's it going? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Watch him sucker. I know, right? I was waiting for it, but I like this because it really, really speeds up the Trick Room. And let's go. So we're going to go to +1. One thing to note about being like +1. So right now, we're getting an as-1 boost to go for +1 attack. If I were to get Intimidated here, even though I'm holding a White Herb, I would actually still take the Intimidate. My White Herb would not activate. The White Herb only activates when your stat becomes a negative stat. So I could be at like +5, +1, +2, plus anything. And if I get Intimidated, it just takes away a plus from that +1. It doesn't actually ever dip into the negative. So White Herb doesn't activate in that situation. So let's see. What's your last Mon? Is it Zacian? Show me the Zacian. Yeah, there's the Zacian. We all be seeing the Zacian. This guy didn't max. It's fine. The power of Snarl was too strong. I actually think like Hydro Glance gets this, and we have Magearna in the back too, so like we're fine. We don't even need to like last turn Trick Room. This is okay. I'm alright with this. As long as we hit the Hydro, we don't even need to high horsepower. Do you have a YouTube vid on how to use Jirachi? I do. It's up on YouTube. I have like two of them already. It's up on YouTube though. It's uploaded a few days ago. Hydro Pump should get the kill even at -1. Oh, never ever lucky. Ooh, they went to a Cali. They ignored my boy. Alright, I think we still get the win though. Because like they can't break the Magearna in one hit, I don't think. It's neutral damage. I don't know if Magearna gets one-shotted by this. Oh, that's dicey. Does Behemoth Blade Oko Magearna? Maybe? I don't know what this thing's stat line is. What are our EVs? No, we're fine. They're probably going after the Cali anyways. I just don't think Flash Cannon would KO, that's why. Ooh, it would KO though if they hit the Cali. Like if they hit the Cali and KO'd it, I get a +1 special attack. Oh, that'd be funny. If content was a concern, what game do you think you'd play most? Do I have to play games? Like, I probably wouldn't do this. I like StarCraft, and like I like chess and board games, usually. I like card games a lot. So stuff like that. And we take the win. Cool. That was a good example of how to play this team correctly, I think. No big RNG swings other than a miss on a Hydro, but like, we'll take those. And now let's go into the team fixing. Everyone's favorite part where we fix the team. Let's take a look at the rental code one more time. And we give some fixes that might be able to help in situations where this team might be falling just a little bit short. Again, this team's made super, super well, but I do think there are a couple things that I might be able to do to actually help it out just a little bit. So we can see the rental code right here. Cali set's great. Palkia's set's pretty cool. Lunala's set's pretty standard. Magearna's set's pretty standard. Entity's a little bit different, and Amoonguss is a little bit different. I've never played those games. The things that I would like to change in this team, but first of all, let's open up the window capture and show the actual like type weaknesses. You can see we have a lot of fire weaknesses with only Palkia as its resist, and we have a lot of dark weaknesses with only Magearna as its resist. Now, that means that like these sort of Pokemon are going to be able to put a ton of pressure on us. So something like a Ho-Oh is problematic, Groudon can be somewhat problematic if it uses fire attacks, and Sand can be really problematic because it has dark and fire attacks. So that's one thing we want to try to mitigate with this team. In my opinion, like realistically, a safety goggles and Incineroar would give us a lot of problems. We only have Lunala to deal with that. So I do think we want to cover up for those weaknesses just a little bit more. If we want to go into the team builder here, we can look at all the EVs that were submitted. So this Lunala EV spread, one thing that I really do like about it is that you're not getting diminishing returns on your defense. Note that if you double this stat, it's higher than your HP, so you're not getting diminishing returns there. This Lunala spread, really good. I like this set a lot, and I don't think you should change it. I think Lunala is pretty standard, and this is a good Lunala set for this format. Really like the Wyguard as well. The Cali, though, can be changed just a little bit. I think the Cali can be changed. I don't think you need that much attack, actually. I found a lot of value in going with this much. This gives you a much better matchup versus Kyogres and Spouts. Sometimes you do have to lead this way. This also lets you eat one Astral Barrage from a Cali Shadow. So I would go with this set. This is just the set that I personally prefer. Feel free to use it if you want. The Palkia set. I talked about this a little bit. I like Blizzard here over the Earth Power. I think the Earth Power is cool. It helps you against versus things like Dialga, kind of. You're potentially proccing Policy. But Blizzard's so good. It helps you versus Thundurus. It helps you versus Yveltal, which is another problem Pokemon. It helps you also have another potential option to break Shedinja. So I do think that it's going to be a little bit better. I also like your Palkia EV spread, other than I'm sure that this EV spread means 84 here. I'm sure that's what you meant. But yeah, very, very solid Palkia spread. Not a ton of special attack. Good defense. Like, everything's looking really, really good so far, so that looks fine. The Magearna spread, though, can definitely be optimized. We don't need this much special attack on Magearna because it's so reliant on Soul Heart. I like mixing my Magearna up and going like this. And 52. And then what I actually have done with this Magearna is, I know this sounds like really, really weird, but I actually use my Magearnas like this. That way, if I fight other Magearnas and other Trick Room teams, we can be just a little bit of a bully and not be fully reliant on Trick Room. So we can actually, and you put the 31 back in the speed. This is what I do with my Magearna when I played on a team like this. So I'm like really, really bulky, and I can be a bully, right? So I like this. This gives you a lot more bulk, and this lets you potentially set Trick Room. I also note that you had a different set here. You made this Protect, which I think you do need Protect on Magearna. So good stuff. I also think if you're going to put the Protect there, I actually do personally prefer the use of Leftovers, but I think on this team you do kind of need the Shucka so you can lead it versus Groudon, which we actually did. We led it versus Groudon, and we led it versus what is it, Dragon Zygarde or Doggo Zygarde. So I do like the use of the Shucka Berry on this, and I think this set is just going to be a little bit better in my opinion. Now this is the big changes that I would make on this team. I would put like a Sash on the Indeedee. I'd put the Sash on the Indeedee, and I would change the Indeedee spread. I would cut the Healing Wish. I understand Healing Wish is really cool because it gives you a free swap, which is kind of nice. But you need coverage for Shadow Rider. Like, you don't have that right now. I put the Shadow Ball here. I put the Sash on the Indeedee, and I'd give Indeedee a lot more aggressive options. Like this. I'd make your Indeedee something like this. Just to be more aggressive, so like you can actually hit harder. And I know we've talked a little bit about in previous teams making sure your Indeedees have like 0 speed reduced so they can set Trick Room last. That's not a problem in this format. You don't have to like have a weakness like Rillaboom or anything weird. You can actually be full speed, and sometimes this matters. This helps against like Rotom matchups and other Pokemon that are like kind of just running around in the mid-tier speeds. This is way like the way that you lose games with this team is people use Imprisons and they bully you with like kind of neutral speed mons. This lets you like bully them. Like, let's say that you were to lead against like a Kyogre, you could actually just lead with your Indeedee, and unless they're like full speed Kyogre, you're gonna be outspeeding them and chunking them with an absolutely massive expanding force before they can do things. So it's going to be really, really good. This gives us a little bit more options instead of saying, I need to get up Trick Room on the first turn. This lets us have a little bit more freedom. Same thing with the Magearna. Like, the slight speed creeping that we're going on these Mons means that we're Trick Rooming most matchups. But against everything else, we are just slightly out speed creeping a lot of these guys. So I really think that making your Indeedee our Sash is going to be really, really good. And then for the Amoonguss, you can keep you can keep a Koba on this guy if you want. I don't think it's that big of a deal since we have good match against some flying mons. But I do think that, like, realistically, I'd put like an Iron Ball here, and I'd make Amoonguss into speed reduce. Always speed reduce your Amoonguss, by the way, and make this guy just better against things like Stakataka and there are things that are other Iron Ball mons that are made for Trick Room. So like Amoonguss is your ultimate like Trick Room guy. How can I share your paste? It's all through Patreon. It's all through Patreon. But yeah, so this is the changes that I would make. I think that like make the Magearna just a little bit bulkier, change the Palkia to Blizzard. Also, it makes it so like once you're done with your Trick Room or done with your max turns and you have Hail up, you have an AoE option in your Palkia, which is really, really cool. I think the goggles are cool here too. I don't think you need goggles. Like realistically, I'd still probably put the Life Orb here and make Palkia just a little bit more of a bully. White Herb's fine. I think White Herb's good there. Meteor Beam also on this. So these are the small changes that I would make to make this team just perform just a little bit better. I always felt kind of pinned. Like whatever redirection mon I was using felt relatively useless after I got the redirection up, and this gives you just a little bit more options. You can also even think about cutting that Pollen Puff for something that would maybe potentially let you hit Shedinja, something like a Hex. Just because you do have a bad Shedinja matchup. Another thing about changing the Blizzard on Palkia, it gives you more ability to hit Shedinja. That was one really big thing here. The team that you submitted, right? Let's go check it out for just like 1 second. Like this team actually can't hit Shedinja other than a Moongeist Beam. And Shedinja has a good matchup against Lunala, so it's like not a good option. So that's why I decided to add the Shadow Ball and the NDD. That's why I decided to add the Palkia for the Hailstorm in case you need to chip it like that. Make yourself just a little bit more bulky. If you're actually really struggling for Shedinja, you can put like a Rocky Helmet on one of your mons that you think might be getting targeted by Shedinja. So like Rocky Helmet and Moongeist could be definitely an option in that situation instead. That is definitely an option to be able to switch in, soak some damage, Rocky Helmet them up, and then regenerate back out. So that's definitely also an option. You can also put like Foul Play or something on Moongeist instead of Pollen Puff, but I do like this set a lot better. So again, these are the changes that I would make. Hopefully you like them, and I have it set for VGC 2022. There we go.